Hello and welcome to the Beam channel. I'm Zach Kesson and I want to continue talking about GenServers today. But before I do, I wanted to tell you that if you and your team would like some help getting up to speed on Erlang, I do training courses and I'd be happy to deliver one to you and your team pretty much anywhere in the world. If you look at the handle call function, you'll notice there's three parameters: request, from, and state. I kind of in the previous video ignored that from parameter and said you just normally would return a reply and then your reply and the new state. However, there is another possibility. Since the GenServer is a single process and you can block, if your application is doing something that might take a long time, then you have a problem because it is one process. So what you can do is use that reply parameter. You can also use it, by the way, if your GenServer needs to wait for some other event before it replies. But please be aware that there is timeouts involved, so just know that. So what you can return is no reply and new state. And then but before you do that, if you do a spawn and create a new process, or better yet, a spawn link, or spawn monitor really, then you can create a new process that will do something. And then when it's done, use the function GenServer reply with that from and your reply, and that'll send the message back to the calling parameter. It will never know the difference. However, if that calling process were to die and you just use spawn instead of spawn monitor, the calling process will time out. So you want to watch out for that. So what I'd like to do is use spawn monitor, and then in the GenServer's handle info block, you look for that down message. If the reason is not normal, so if it completes and just exits normal, you're going to get a down with normal. And then in that case, you can send back the reply to the initial thing saying there was an error. Now, in order to do that, you need to keep track of all the processes you spawned in the state. So then you'd end up code looking like this. Now, in the handle call, you see that when you spawn it, you store the PID in that new. You do you spawn or you handle the PID. You store it in a dict or a set or something in the state of the GenServer, and when you get you get a down message, if it's normal, you just delete it, and if it's not normal, you send back an error message. And I would also in the terminate message probably send back a process terminating error message as well, so that if something shuts down the GenServer and things are still waiting, they get a nice response. This way you could handle many requests concurrently without having to worry about one of them blocking the others. Because again, a GenServer is a single process. It can't handle two requests at once. So now if your requests are fast, that's fine. But if your requests are slow, spawn them out, use other processes. It's the Beam. Create as many processes as you want. It's all good. And this is a great way to handle concurrency. I hope this was useful. If it was, please give me a shout. You can find my training below. I do training courses. Would love to help your company get started with Erlang or Elixir. And would be thrilled if you would like and subscribe to this video or share it on social media.